Change the title.
Oh,
Slide.
what's the title?
The slide.
Oh, here we go.
There we go.
Let me
Here
just
we
switch this
go.
up a
Here we
little. I gotta
go.
switch this up a little bit. What's up, guys? Welcome
What's
to our
up? What's
Friday
up?
edition of Real Estate Unwrapped. We're actually waiting for Gigi to jump on. I know she's having a little bit of technical difficulty, guys, so we do apologize. I think no, she did not text me yet. But right now, we have Israel Martinez right here alongside me. What's up, Israel? What's going on, man? I know it's been a crazy week. Last night was pretty fun.
Oh yeah, definitely. It was really fun. I mean, to get to see some old colleagues, new colleagues come on by. I mean, it was really good to get some face to face with old people that we work with every day, or at least we used to work with every day before COVID. So it was really
I
fun
know,
to have
man.
to do that.
It was good. It was very nice seeing. The people that attended, we did invite a good crowd. So we
Right.
had a great time. I actually shared some of the videos last night. Amanda and Alex took a video of our shot cheers. So that was pretty cool. But guys,
Yeah.
we do appreciate it. Melody, what's going on? Good morning.
Hello, Melody.
How's everything? So we're still waiting for Gigi to click on.
That's all
I know
right.
she's having such a hard time, but what we're gonna do
But
is we're just gonna kind of go ahead.
yeah, you know what? The good thing about it, we'll give her a little bit of time to try to click on. But the good thing about this particular topic that we're talking about is CMA, right? So,
Correct.
I mean, I told you last night. So I pretty much got a referral from a couple of sellers I work with and other people in the buildings I worked with before for another seller. And I mean, look, man, the things that we're going to talk about today, I had to practice that this morning in the sense of having to create a quick CMA. And it's, it could be short, it could be long, but it's the amount of information that you need to make sure that you have when creating these CMAs in order for them to see that, their home is worth at a certain price. So, I'm looking forward to even talking about this because honestly, CMAs are really the catalyst, or at least the starting of putting something into the market of what we think that the market is actually saying this is what your home is worth, and then going forward from there. So,
Yeah.
it's pretty cool. I mean, what's been one of your challenges when doing CMAs?
So if we're talking about that, I guess one of the challenges I would say is trying to find the exact property.
Yes.
The exact property.
Sure.
Because oh my goodness.
Oh, she's here.
Oh my God! Breaking news! Gigi has made it.
She made it.
My internet goes down like 2 minutes before we go live. It's insane. Anyway, look, I'm gonna put my ring on. Yes.
She's excited.
Oh my goodness. Hi everybody. I just my heart was pounding. It's like I still don't have much internet. I have no idea what's going on. But
we're glad you made it, Gigi. We were just talking about what was one of the difficulties that you can. I mean, I guess what's one of the difficulties when doing a CMA? I guess that was the question, right? Is
the difficulty that was someone said the
right, that's the question.
Depends on the area you are with. I think it's the best thing would be to first, and I think we have our slides ready, to really understand the property condition.
You got us going all around the room.
I know. Because I have no internet, I'm going by my window, make sure I have more bars.
Cool.
I'm like, what the hell? I don't want to lose anybody.
You got it. You're good there. That's good lighting.
And not, understanding the properties.
Yeah.
Get the most similar comps. Understanding the neighborhood trend, the market trend. I mean,
so
factors.
My answer to that, I guess it was very generic. Not generic. It was very general, broad. My answer was just trying to find the exact property, trying to find the property to match it with.
Right.
Like, I think that's probably, I would say, one of the biggest challenges when doing a CMA, because it's not easy. You whether it's a co-op or a single family home or 2 to 3 4-family dwellings. You know what I mean? It's like trying to find something that's almost identical. It's not easy. So that's what our training today is going to be about, guys. We're going to try to help you guys understand the different tools to use, but also what to look for, what to compare to.
They'd make it a little bit better than what the average agent would do as a CMA, which slaps some stuff from the from MLS and say, here, let's give it a day. I think it more goes into it because you more prep work, looking for stats, understanding the stats, a whole bunch of stuff. Should I go like this? Is it better?
There you go.
Much better.
Widescreen. We lost Israel. Oh my goodness.
Oh wow! You see, I'm telling you, it's something going on with the internet. Right?
So I'm gonna send him a text message, but well, that's in the group chat. I just said Israel.
Maybe it's a neighborhood thing. Israel.
Maybe.
I mean, Kew Gardens. I have no idea what happened. Let's worry about it later. Let's do the show. Life goes on.
Life goes on. So, like we mentioned, we're going to be going through the elements of a CMA.
Yeah.
And Gigi, I think what we're going to do is go on to the next slide, right?
Yeah, go ahead. So, let's define again what is a comparative analysis. You know, it's really like a tool that real estate agents use to compare their subject properties with other similar properties in the neighborhood that sold, some of them that are available, and of course those that never sold, to basically bring the best value for that subject property to the seller or to a buyer for that reason.
Yeah.
What do you think that is? What would you add to what is a comparative market analysis or CMA?
So I would say, and it's something that we actually spoke about last week too, but it's an opinion, right? It's an opinion of what you believe that home could potentially sell for in today's market. Yeah. So you're gathering data, information. I always say it, and I quote Jay-Z on it: men lie, women lie, but the numbers don't. Yeah. So it's all in my opinion. For me, I'm a numbers person. So if I present numbers and they make sense, you can't argue with that. They're almost like facts, Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the next one.
Let's do it.
God.
So as we mentioned, the subject property, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, you need to really get to know what your subject property is. And within our MLS, people in the Alliance movement, we have a lot of tools we can actually work with. You have for listing service, one key MLS, Stratus, I still call that. You have NAR, RPR, right?
Yeah.
Geodata that is given to all of us for free. What else do we have? Even MLS property records are pretty good. And then we can also use Remind, which I know Israel is using. He likes to use that.
Right? Yeah, once we get Israel back on, maybe you could talk about it a little bit more.
I'm trying to find a space where I'm sitting down and resting my phone here. I don't know. We'll see.
So look, the house that you see in this picture right here, I mean, that's like we were saying before, trying to find a home that is almost identical would be difficult.
That would be like, this is a generic free photo I found, but that's a nice little Dutch colonial. We have some of those like in Brooklyn, in Flatbush, in Richmond Hill, where those maybe in North Flushing. You may find those, but not always easy. But anyway, I mean, you have other factors to take in consideration, and let's go through those. Want to click the next one? You're gonna have to read this because unless I take my glasses, you see, that's great production today. I love it.
This is what happens when you do things. No, this is great. This is life, though.
I know.
I love. This is why we go live. It's live television, people.
Yeah. So the first, so this is what you should do at the very minimum when working with one property, whether it's a co-op, condo, house, 1, 2, let's say 3, 4 family houses. Get these type of data: location on the street, and we lost the property. The slide that I have, what happened here, Ed? Where is everybody?
What?
Ed?
Are you guys passing along this internet infection now?
Not. It's insane.
What?
Do you want to put that slide back?
I got you. Give me a second. I'm sorry. I'm sorry about this,
I know.
folks. I'm trying to get it. I don't know what is going on. That internet is.
It's,
Don't be passing that to me. All right. I don't know what virus is over here, right?
oh, I wanted to rest my phone. Okay, by my ring. Can you hear me over there? It's going to be all choppy.
We can hear you now. Guys, we apologize for that. But look, so I don't know. I think you were reading it off, Jeej.
Yeah, I was trying to read it over and just comment on the thing because I know I slides, but it's insane.
It's all right.
Yeah.
So you want me to read it? I can read it if you want.
Go ahead. Oh,
All right.
Now my ring just fell.
So, guys, as you're putting the CMA together, what you want to do is literally go through this list. So you see it on your screen, all right? Location, figure out where you're located, the streets, neighborhood. I mean, that's kind of self-explanatory, all right? But it's really understanding that home, where it's located. What is it close to? If it's close to transportation, is it something that's close to the train or far away from the train? You know what I mean? Things like that add value. Total inside square footage. You have to know the size of the property, clearly number of bedrooms, bathrooms, the lot size or acreage, year built, okay, conditions of the property, recent renovations, interior, finish of note. I don't know what that is. That a French thing? Interior finishes of note. And any
I meant or not, but then it wrote of note. All right, so you see, it's great. So last night at 10 o'clock, I'm still working on this thing. So finishes or not, meaning whether you had renovations or not. And yes, that must have been French. That didn't sound really.
It was French. It sounded French.
Yeah.
Interior finishes or note. But anywho.
Age of the renovations, right?
Definitely.
Because sometimes they can say, "Oh yeah, we renovated." Like I had.
Oh my gosh.
With Vincent, where like my mom renovated the whole house in 1982. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
Do we have the okay button from Israel? Okay.
We're gonna get that button. I'm telling you, you guys are in for a treat when we go into our studio, man. We're definitely getting that set up. But extraordinary finishes, right? That's kind of where you left it off there. So, swimming pools, theater rooms, laundry room, sunrooms.
And again, sometimes the gold toilet, which people think it's going to bring like a lot of to their home. And this is where you're going to have to be the voice of reason in discerning whether those are actually features that would enhance the value of the house. All right.
Correct.
Yeah.
And if you do have a golden toilet, just take it back. Take it with you. Honestly, you should take it with you to the next house because they're not going to pay more money for that.
Right. And then of course, so this is what you need to know about the property. And of course, you're going to go a little bit deeper, which we're going to discuss in the next slide. You're going to look at the property record. On this one, we use your data. And this is just a generic property report. It's going to give you the original footprint of the house in some counties. It's going to give you the original house size, the lot size, because sometimes extensions are not listed in that. But very importantly, it's going to tell you when it's being built. You're going to have the block and lot. You're going to have the tax information. And when you are in Long Island, you would have to actually get additional information with the village tax, but that's going to give you the town tax. Okay. What else do
100%.
Yeah.
So what I would add to this is, look, this is helpful whether you're on the selling side or on the buying end. This is awesome information to then present, right? Like, so if you're on the seller's end, this is good information to give them because they might not even have known, right? If we go on to the next slide, what it says is you want to check for the violations.
Right. That's very important to know.
Yeah.
So imagine having that information up front when you sit down with the seller and you're like, hey, Mr. Seller, I don't know if you knew this, but there's a violation on your home. Or if there's a lien on the property, you can pull that information. And if they didn't know about it, you're going to look like someone who is going to stand out.
And then there is also the certificate of occupancy. When you are in the New York City 5 boroughs, you're able to pull those up. So sometimes people are going to tell you, oh, but I have a 2-family house.
Mm-hmm.
And
Right.
yes, it could be a family house, and you pull up the C of O, and that house is a 1-family house. And
Yes,
this is where we may have problems. So all
definitely.
these links to Department of Building, to building, what is it, Department of Building or Building Department?
Department of Buildings.
And Acris and
Or-
all those links are available on Geodata, and you should click on everything.
Definitely.
Do this when you have a 2 to 4 family house. Check in when you're in New York City. Check to make sure things are the house is registered. That might delay closing as well.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that one more time, Jeez? Because I kind of lost your mind. You said check for what?
HPD, housing.
HPD.
Right, and they also have sometimes some violations in there that may show up as well. So this is more for 2 to 4 family houses.
Definitely. So we actually have a question.
Yeah.
Sorry, my bad to interrupt. But Melody asked a question. Do you use geodata on co-ops and condos?
Condos, yes. Yeah,
Right.
definitely. Co-ops, you could get all the sales in that building, but then you don't have much information. We like to use Street Easy, which gives you a lot of information and still a link to address with the recorded documents. And MLS, you know. So when you do co-ops, it's a great combination to have MLS and Street Easy when you are in New York City.
Yeah. I actually have used geodata for co-ops just to kind of find out who the owner is. There's a way to kind of get in there also.
Yeah, because you use
So-
the parties, involved. You can look
Yeah.
at the document, but then you don't get that much information.
You don't. So I
Right.
wouldn't just solely rely on geodata just to get that information.
Yeah.
And we'll go into a little more of it in a bit, but you would want to use all the tools you have at your disposal.
Yeah.
You know, just because
Yeah.
MLS displays one thing doesn't mean you're gonna stop there. You would want to kind of see if Street Easy also has the same information, if geodata also has the same information.
I also want to share with you, with Vincent, we're working on a listing where the seller
Great question, Melody, by the way.
thank you. The seller had the buyer that got turned down by, not even by the board. They couldn't get financing, I think, because the bank did not approve the building. So what we were able to do with Geodata is actually take a look at the last year's sale and seeing which bank were financing in the building. Okay, and this you can look through Acris very easily. All right, if that answers your question.
That too.
Yeah.
That too. If we recall the question, yeah, there it was.
All right.
But love it. So we're gonna go on to the next slide on here, but make sure you're checking that information. And this is a snapshot of the Department of Buildings website.
Yes. And
All
this
right.
generic thing that I took as an image, a generic image on Google. Should I change my light? Let me see. Less, more, less. Oh,
Less is more and more is less.
yeah. So now, once you have everything about the property, pretty much everything, you can start looking for comps. All right.
So let's see what we're looking for here.
I put up that slide because I like to do a search, and I will share my little secrets with everybody. I like to, let's say we have a 1-family house with 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom in Richmond Hill North, which is 11418. I would pull up all, and we know it's a detached house and it has 1 garage. So I will pull up all the 1-family houses, detached, 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, or 2-bathroom and more. And sometimes if I don't have enough, I'll go with 1.5 and more. In that zip code in the last 365 days. And this is actually one of the stats with additional comments that I send to sellers. And this one was was it a co-op? It's probably one of the most recent ones. And I like to do this because I also analyze the stats. So that already sets the tone, you know, to where my discussion is going to go with the seller. So we're going to look at, you can see like in the comments, I just basically analyze everything, saying over the last year that many properties similar to yours came on the market. Out of that, but I don't know, I can't see the number. That many were sold, all right, completely closed. That many are pending right now. Let's say 10 are still or 20 are for sale on the market, and 25 never sold. It's just a number like that. That will give you an idea of what's going on with the market. When you see that you have only 5 sold and 25 for sale, with, if you're looking at your statistics, average sold price versus average listing price, and sometimes you have reduction, you're going to have to be very conservative in pricing, because you have a lot of product on the market and nothing selling. And in that particular instance, with that particular unit, that's what is happening. Ed or Israel, you guys want to read what it says on this? How many units were sold?
I can read
really it.
Yeah,
I can read it. I'm gonna zoom into. You want to read it, Israel? You said. I'm sorry.
I can't read it from.
Oh,
I'm
you
on the
can't.
phone. I can't.
Okay. No, that's fine. I'll read it. So on the bottom it says over the last year, 46 3-bedroom units came on the market. Some units have the dining room converted to a bedroom. So some of them were junior 4s.
No, some of them were 3-bedroom converted into a 4-bedroom.
Oh, interesting.
Those are things I said. We sit with the seller, we explain to them, you know, and this is what the search goes a little bit deeper, because I'm going to look at every single one of those 46 listings and examine and see what's going on.
So you basically present to the sellers, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, this is literally what has been happening in Forest Hills for apartments similar to yours. 3-bedroom, 2-bath apartments. So literally, this is what you're presenting, and you're showing them. In this example, it says 10 units sold. That means they closed. 5 are under contract. I'm sorry?
Yeah, you're going to see like those are on the contract and those are on the market and those that never sold. You're also going to look at the average days on the market, which is super important.
Correct. So right here, Gigi has highlighted it on the slide, but closed 10, 5 of them were under contract, 21 are available. So there's 21 listings available, 10 of them never sold. So those have either expired or withdrawn from the market and said, you know what, I don't want to sell my home anymore.
So once
all right.
You cannot be trigger happy and say, oh, let's list that co-op at highest price that you're going to see on those stats. Not at all. You're going to have to understand what's going on, you know, like the list to sell ratio.
Correct.
Have to be careful with pricing. And then this is where you can pull up your comps. So you explain to your seller what's going on with the market, then you pull up your comps.
And I love the fact that it was added average days on the market, 75. And that's where you get these numbers here.
Yeah.
On the bottom of the statistics and counts. Okay. That right there, when you present it to the sellers, you can test their motivation. Hey, are you eager to sell this home right now? If you are, look how many days on average it takes for these homes to sell. If we price high, it's going to take 180 days. If we price on the lower end, it might take us about 24 to 30 days to get your home sold. Right. How anxious are you about selling this home?
Right. So
rules of threes.
I did like the rules of threes, even though I add a little bit more just because I want to, you know, you want to always add not 25 comps, because comparables get very confusing, even for yourself when you're actually doing the comps when you're brand new. You know, I'm sure you guys remember your first CMA. That must have been excruciatingly painful. And so 3 sold, 3 currently on the market, very similar to your subject property. I like to add, you know, 2 or 3 pendings, but really 2, because they're still on the market. They're basically pending. We don't have any additional records as far as what they've been in contract for, very, very rarely. And then 3 sold. Ultimately, 3 sold within the last 3 months really ideally, but the last 6 months would be as far as you would go, because this is what appraisers are going to take a look at.
Yeah.
Correct. Right.
So that's the information that you would kind of want to put together when you're presenting comps.
But why? I want to hear your opinion on why would it be important to get, obviously, the 3 cold sold comparables, that's obvious, but why would it be important for anyone to get the 3 current, three comparables of current listings on the market? I'd like to hear from our audience. Why would you think that is a very important information to give to your seller?
Do we have the Jeopardy music to put on in the background while we wait for some comment? Because now we're forcing you guys to comment in that chat box. So guys, why do you think it's important to have 3 current listings to show your potential seller?
And again, we don't have an exact science. I don't claim to know everything. I'm going to give you what I think is my opinion, right? And I hope it's a good one, and you guys can debunk it. And I want to hear from my partners as well in there. So no answers. This is great. So I
didn't think you were going to go to that, but So I mean, I guess we can answer it then.
Yeah. Oh,
wait, hold on.
Hold on.
Here we go. Yes. Oh, I love it. Look at them. Oh, they're pouring in. We're going to do it one by one. Hold on. Let me take this banner out because we don't want to block Israel. Every time we present a comment,
It's okay.
It blocks Izzy. So I don't want to block my boy. But here we go. So
to find out the client potential listing price, yes. But to find out the potential listing price would be a combination of everything.
Hold on. We're gonna go down the line. Hold on, Gigi. Okay. This was Melody's question. So we can compare current cost versus what was sold and unsold.
The cost of
just what the numbers are in the market, current listings, so we can compare the current cost, meaning current market price or listed price.
Right.
Gee, I don't know if you're talking.
It's so important to have available comps. And let's pull up Olivia's answer, which was pretty cool. So they can look at the price versus the days on the market, right? Which makes a lot of sense. Very true. They can also take a look at pricing trends, because we looked at sold comparables before that, which is the most important, because that's what appraisers are going to look at. You also want to see how many days those very most recent comps available and really close and similar to that subject property have been on the market for, and that will help you adjust the price. Definitely. Very good answer, Olivia. And somebody
we have
said
another one.
for the
pendings, take it a step further and ask the listing agent how much the property went into contract for.
Yes,
if they're willing to share.
Yes, so we were going there as well. Extremely great answer. If you can get in touch with that listing agent of those 2 pendings, go for it. Call them. Number one, that would be a great opportunity if you don't know them to get to know them. And we guys are at EXP, so you know what it means. And get what it went on the contract for. And yes, agents will share with you. Especially if they had like a really happy sale and it went quickly, they'll be very proud of telling you. And it's great. So you're getting an idea and can give this information to your seller.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I love it. Guys, thanks for putting your comments in the box. We appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Definitely appreciate you guys engaging with us. So the next slide really breaks down the market generator report. You can clearly get this on One Key MLS. But
yes,
it's funny because I actually do like using it, but I have heard there are some folks that don't like using it. But I know, Gigi, you use it
all the time. I like using it. I don't use it all the time. Again, depending on the situation, if it really calls for it. If you have a seller that is going to give you some crazy price, because when you pre-qual them, you should ask them. My ring is about to fall again. You ask them where you think they should be at as far as pricing their unit. And when they're a little bit on the high side or really much on the high side, I like to pull that up because it gives you an idea of price, basically where the price are month by month and the comparison from the year before, and goes back all the way to 24 months with those 3 bars that you see there and the graph. So that is, if you guys can zoom on this, it's going to give you what the price trend is, right? So that is, I like to use this. And those are average prices, again, not taking in consideration all the factors for that particular unit you're pricing, right?
Correct.
And all right, Olivia is asking, what do you prefer to use for CMA instead of one key? Combination of few things. I like to go everywhere. I do MLS, I do Street Easy, not necessarily for houses. I like to go back to NAR, RPR. I know, Israel, you like to use Remind on top of, in addition to that.
No, I
Right.
don't like to use it. I know about it. I don't use it as much. Right.
Okay, I thought you did. Okay.
No,
But
no, I know about
RPR
it.
and geodata along with MLS gives you plenty. I just want to sometimes rule out and make sure I didn't miss any properties, and I would add it up, add them. So.
Yeah, like we said in the beginning, I mean, the more information and tools you have, the better you would be.
Yeah.
And it all depends on the product that you're going for. So houses, I mean, all those platforms work. When it comes to co-ops, not all of them will work at the same time. So, just keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Definitely. Awesome. So I'm gonna finish it up with this last slide. And
There
as
you
you
go.
guys mentioned already, these are just some different sources that you can use.
Right. So, I mean, as far as RPR, really quick, I've used this a couple times. You'll probably get a couple sellers from either out-of-town sellers or sellers who, don't want to meet, are still in the COVID, situation. They don't want to meet anybody, or they just need you to present them with a nice marketing tool. And RPR, it does provide you a good marketing deep dive sort of statistics of pretty much the area, of the units, of the house, so on and so forth. It can go a little bit too deep sometimes, so you just have to make sure you adjust everything right. But it is a nice report to have in comparison to what MLS provides to them. It's a little it's a little prettier, it's a little nicer, it's a little bit more professional when it comes to the RPR and the Remind version. But when it comes to that into the MLS, you obviously want to show a little bit more professionalism and show them that. But one thing I'm not sure, and I wasn't here for the beginning part, you certainly want to know your client, your customer, your potential client, your potential customers. You got to understand that there are some clients out there that love a lot of information, and those that don't want nothing, and they just want to know the numbers. So by qualifying them, knowing what kind of customers they are, whether they want more information or not, you would know exactly which platform you should use, whether it's Remind, RPR, MLS, and provide them with the information that they're looking for.
I wanted to add one more thing for New York City. I like to look for floor plans of units. Okay, they're not always all listed on Street Easy. And not when you go in the history of the listing, potentially you don't always find them on MLS either. So I like to go to Columbia University floor plan and brochures, real estate brochure library, which has a whole bunch of floor plans, and you're able to actually get those floor plans. And when you print them and bring them to your seller, makes you look also really professional, because not everybody has their floor plans. And I find for some reason it always makes them really happy. Oh, you got the floor plan for my apartment. So
right.
Yes. And then one thing that I also wanted to add it when you do your CMA, before you consolidate everything and before you do the pricing, add up, and that's probably a more advanced way of doing CMAs, but you may be, thank you, Ed, for just putting that up.
No problem.
Yeah, good.
Take into considerations also outside factors into the. I don't even know if we had that slide. Factors that are going to be like micro trends. Did we have that slide, Ed, in
Which
the
slide?
presentation? It was like, don't forget about micro trends, or it was not in there.
Let me see. I don't see anything about micro trends.
Yeah.
Nope.
All right. So maybe maybe I removed it because it was maybe a little bit too advanced. Like sometimes when you
Go ahead,
She's muted.
Gigi.
you're gonna have another condo with 250 floors coming up, blocking the view of those units. They might not be as desirable as before, you know. But then again, if you're selling a house in Elmont that is going to be right next to the new complex they're building, or other towns where they're going to have brand new malls and new road access and so on and so forth, that might increase the value. So you always have to take those extra micro trends into consideration. I like the word micro trends. Right?
Micro trends. That reminds me of my economics class back in high school.
Yes, that's a long time ago.
Micro and
I
macro.
know,
Absolutely.
I know. That's my college years, yes. Oh my God.
So we did have a question. Olivia was asking, what's best for co-ops? I'm doing one now. So what's best to run comps for a co-op apartment? I know we.
I would use Treat Easy because you're
Yeah.
getting
I
a
would use
lot
Street
of
Easy also.
yes.
Yeah.
And try to find your floor plan on Columbia University Library of Real Estate Brochures.
Yeah.
And if the co-op is within the MLS Stratus, where you have a lot of comps, use that too. But definitely Street Easy would be a great way to find them. When you have an account as an agent, you'll be able to run comps. You'll be able to run comp reports. I've been using this a lot for the city. Yeah, anything in Manhattan, yeah. And it works really well.
Right. You could do it for the city and also for even like obviously different MLSs. You have different MLSs to work on, so you pretty much you use it for the city, you use it for the ones in Brooklyn, maybe Staten Island, so on and so forth. It's just really a broad way to actually help you out. And I also found doing comps through just those little hidden pockets. Sometimes you'll find them in Zillow because I've gone through listing appointments as well. And sellers will tell me about this particular listing, and I'm like, I've never seen that. Any of the researches I've done, but then I found it on Zillow. So it's like, okay, got it. Because
on Street Easy, you go to Agent Tools and you have basically a comp.
Right.
Is it on your account? I cannot even. Yeah. All right, and then you can just start building up your comp, even by building sometimes. Or you can add up different buildings that are very similar in this area. And Street Easy has really over the years updated the program where they have the neighborhoods and the sub neighborhoods within those zip codes, which is great, really great.
Right.
Yeah.
That's actually a really good thing to have.
Yeah.
So look at that.
Anything you guys want to discuss? Anything you did not understand? Anything you think we did not cover? Now is the time to address it, right?
Let me go back onto the show. Olivia said, "Thank you. You're welcome, Olivia."
Right. Thank you,
welcome.
Olivia. Yeah.
So I know Gigi, I saw you put in the chat. We were discussing the elements of a CMA. So yeah, if you guys had any questions, please feel free to chime in or ask away. But if you don't, well, we got to thank you.
Yes.
But yeah, to bring it all together, I mean, there's a lot of different tools that you can use to pull up these comps. And I've said it over and over again, is use all of them. If you can use Street Easy, if you can use Geodata, if you can pull up the comps on, the MLS, if you can use all of those tools, do it. Don't bombard the sellers. That's why we said in threes, right? Don't bombard them with 15 properties. Look at these 15 houses or apartments that sold. No, you're gonna overflood it.
Yeah, find the one that are the most comparables. Look at what's going on, how long they've been on the market for the available ones. has the price been reduced? And I've seen like sometimes where 3 times. And that's not a great sign. That's not a great look at the photos. Look at what could potentially be a problem where that listing wouldn't sell easier. How is the marketing? I mean, how easy is it to show? If you're gonna have comments where it just says drive by, it's like, whoa, okay. Unless it's because it's a foreclosure. But that's, if you have a nice house in Forest Hills Gardens, it's just gonna give you a drive by, and it's like, oh, I don't think that's gonna work. Right. So stuff like that. So same thing with the pending. Try to know from the other agents what the house has been selling for, how many days it was on the market, what type of marketing was done, how well did it show, how easily it showed, all those factors, and of course same thing with the sold units.
So keep in mind as well. I mean, when you're doing these comps as well, two things when it comes to co-ops. Remember, sponsor units are going to be, in some cases, more money, right? In the sense that of the amount of materials they put in compared to one who's been living there for 5-10 years,
Right.
Even though their house looks fabulous, but in some cases, sponsor units is just a little bit more. So not to say you can't use those comps, but just keep those in mind. Say, hey, listen, they're
Right.
there, but it's not a...
Sponsor units usually are more expensive because there is no board approval for co-op sponsor units, and that's like basically a great way for people to get in the co-op. Those that may not have be approved by a board. So you take that in consideration. Same thing. I was just missing my train of thoughts. Here goes old people moment. It's starting.
It's okay.
So
you lost your train of thought. No big deal.
It happens. Yeah,
I wanted to say something important.
It was about the co-ops, but
something else. All right, it's okay. I told you.
It'll come back to you.
Old fart moment.
It'll come back to you. It'll come back to you.
So
I'm sure it will.
Yeah.
It's interesting to see sometimes, actually, when I do comps. I'm not sure this happens. Oh, you got it.
It came back. It came back. Okay, and then you're gonna have the questions, and I was hoping to see it in the comments. Is why is my comp? What is my comp price different than some? My colleague. Let's say if we're running comps and together and we wanted to compare. Again, always very subjective. Sometimes I'm gonna strategically. Thank you. Not put some comps in my CMA, because even though they might be very, very similar, they might be giving a completely jaded idea to the seller of what they could have. And I especially after I interviewed them, especially the ones with the gold toilets, if you know what I mean.
The bidets, golden bidets.
Right.
Yes. So yeah, and they feel that their 1987 renovation with the golden bidet
is still up to date,
as a completely modern.
Okay, hold on. Now I got a question that just popped up into my head. Okay, I see properties sometimes listed and they're like they were renovated. How far back can we use that term renovated? Like if a house was renovated, like newly renovated, what would be a time frame? If we could put a time frame on newly renovated,
I would put more than 5 years. After that, life kicks in.
No.
It's got
I would say 3 years for me.
Yeah, 5 would be the max. It's been gently used. Okay.
I feel like 5 years might be like it was
too much.
It was updated, like it would
fall into the updated for that one,
category. Right? Yeah, right. Like
right, but a 15-year renovation is already
15-year renovation is just a regular old home.
Yeah, 15-year-old kitchen. I'm gonna be blunt. Like red cherry wood was very, very, very popular back then. Like
in 2015, 2014.
I cannot even stand it anymore. I was I don't want to see it. No.
What do you mean? This is mahogany wood, Gigi. This is mahogany. red oak wood, and the countertops are granite, like that granite gray counter. Yeah, no, it's
And then
my
again,
God.
you're gonna have to be very careful. Let me wrap it up, because we're gonna digress on all those stories we may have had.
I just thought it was a funny question.
The the very taste specific unit, even though your seller may have spent so much money on it with the golden bidet and this nice, colorful fixtures from Murano that looks really like a octopus, and the house, you have to be very, very, very careful with this, not to overprice it, because like over specifically, stay specific homes are not gonna go quick either.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So that would be my last take on this.
It's a fine line. I think it's a very fine line. I think a lot of people now, when they're doing the updates or renovation, I think they're more simple. They're simple renovations. That is, it looks like a clean finish. I feel like.
Okay, I have one more thought. This keeps on popping because I don't have my notes, but I know I wrote it. Like, let's say in a co-op, if you're gonna do $150,000 renovation for your kitchen,
No.
that is
What?
worth it, because it's not gonna appraise.
I
Like if you live in a $10,000 square foot home, and you want to do a renovation with a super luxe kitchen, that will have basically some effect on your appraisal, but not in a co-op. Okay, not in a co-op. Definitely not 150,000, because those are things that you live in and use. But you have to take this in consideration as well. When somebody say, "Oh, I imported my cabinets from Scandinavia," in your one-bedroom co-op, okay.
I don't even know where Scandinavia is.
You don't? Are you serious?
That's how I would have responded. Where'd you get those cabinets from? What is that, in Astoria? Or is that like on Long Island City? Like, where is it?
Exactly.
All right.
Exactly.
What time is it?
We got we still got time, but we're not gonna drag it. We just wanted to kind of hold back a little bit and ask a couple of questions.
Yeah, but we don't have to drag the whole hour.
That's what I said.
Those listings are designed for you to get back to it and listen to it, get the points. I think
100%.
have to mention a training on pricing. That would be extremely important.
Right.
Because pricing right now, it looks like in some areas things go off the chain, way above asking price, but that might change. We're going to, what goes up must come down. So we always have to be prepared for a shifting market, and we're going to have to.
Yeah, there is going to be a shift, but that doesn't. I don't think the prices are going to come tumbling down the way people are thinking, but
slight shift, but you always have
slight shift,
because we cannot ride that way forever. All right, and I'd rather have all of us being ready for the change when it happens. So it's good to get ready before it happens, so it doesn't come as a big slap in your face, and you're like in shock and unable to do anything.
Right.
That's what I would do.
No, it's true.
All right.
Awesome. So, any last words, my man?
No, I mean, I think we've covered it all. I think we covered it and then some. So I believe we just keep it, keep in mind of what you're going for. When it comes to comps, it's apples to apples. You're not gonna do a co-op for a condo. You're not gonna do a single family for a multifamily. You're, know your areas, know locations, know the size, know the age, know the product. And once you know the product, once you know the product, once you know the areas, and once you know everything that you need to know, then your listing presentation is going to be slightly flawless. Yeah. And also keep in mind that, don't go in there with just one price in mind. Go in there with a range price. So in the sense that if something's worth $500,000, you go in there and it looks like slappy happy, like they haven't done any kind of work, thing looks destroyed, you're gonna have to
Yeah.
probably go in there with a lower price. But at the same time, you know, sometimes they overinflate what they've done to the house. You might have to go in with a lower price. Or in the other sense, you know, let's just say they did do a great job, then yeah, you might have to go up with a higher price. So it's just keep a price range in mind, and then once you go in there, you'll be able to know exactly what to say to the seller.
Marketing prices, we'll do a pricing section, because you have sometimes a marketing price that will drive buyers, you know, to your list. So again, that might be a little bit lower than market value. So we discuss all this.
Yeah,
Definitely.
remember, prices is all based on a lot of things, and one of them has to do with the seller's motivation. So
Yeah.
You know, just keep that in mind as you go in there.
All right.
Awesome. So, guys, we appreciate it. Like we said, we're not going to drag it any further, but we do appreciate your attention. We appreciate your ears. We appreciate your likes and your thumbs up and your shares and your views. So, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Once again, we are here with Real Estate Unwrapped. We're here with Gigi Pierre. We're here with Israel Martinez. And
Hello.
You guys already know who I am, Ed Penn with NYC Homes with Ed. So, guys, we are tuning out. Take care. Have a great weekend. We love you.
Bye-bye.
Stay tuned till next Friday. Here we go. Here we go. We got to dance out. Hold on. Hold on. I'm not going to end it. I'm not going to end it on you, Gigi. You got to keep waving.